Hello my beautiful friends, welcome back to my channel Simply Angie here. I am Angie. If you're new to my channel, I would like to officially welcome you to my channel as well, and thank you so much for joining us today. So this is going to be a video tutorial on how to do a basic stitch, and today we're going to be working with half double crochet. So I'm going to be using this green color yarn here from Impeccable, and it's a medium size, as well as a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, which I've used in all of my other tutorials on how to do the basic stitches, and these videos are meant for beginners. So anyone who is trying to learn how to do crochet for the first time, or you're just kind of refreshing your memory if you haven't done it for a while, these are videos that are meant for you. So let's get started. So the first thing that I do is I loop the yarn around my finger like so. And this is just a preference for me. You don't have to do the same thing, so you will hold the yarn however it's comfortable for you. And then to start off, we're going to do a slip knot, and again I'm going to do it the way I do it. You may have learned or you know how to do it in a different way, but for me this is how I do it. I loop it around my finger. I take my middle finger and I hold it right where there's an X, like that, so it's tight. I take it off of my thumb. I take my crochet hook with the hook facing me like so. I put it through the hole here. I go underneath the yarn that is coming from my finger. I yarn over, I put it through the space, and then I pull that like that, okay? And then to make this space here, the space here tighter, I just pull that like that. So that's how I do it. Like I said, you may be able to do it different ways. And then we go ahead and do our foundation chain. And this is pretty much, I think, kind of common on how everybody do foundation chain. So I'm not gonna go too slow on this one, because if you watch the other videos that I did for beginners, I go a lot more slower. So start with those ones, like go back to the first one that I did, and I have labeled them as episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and so on and so forth. That way it's easier for you to follow along, because I do go a lot slower on those videos. Also, we don't count, or at least I don't count the chains for these little tutorials that I do for you guys, because it doesn't matter. I'm just doing a small sample. So as you can see here, I've already done my foundation chain. I didn't count, but keep in mind in the future, if you're doing a project, you may be required to count your chains. Okay, so, and if you have to count, this is pretty much how you do it. So 1, 2, 3, and this is how you count your chains. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna stop with this, so we can go ahead into doing a half double crochet. Okay, so when you have your work and you have your chain, so this is how I work with my work. I usually use these 4 fingers to support my work from the back, like this. These 3 fingers, I should say. I just use it to hold everything together like that, and then my thumb is usually the one that kind of controls things from the front. Okay, so this is the first chain here where my thumb is pointing to. We don't go into that first chain, we go into the second one, which is this one here. And the way we do a half double crochet is you yarn over, you go into the second chain like that, you yarn over, bring it through the hole there. You have 3 loops on the hook, you yarn over, you go through all 3. Okay, and then you do that again, yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, bring it back. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, bring it through all 3 loops like that. Yarn over, go into the very next chain, yarn over, you have 3 loops, yarn over, go through all 3. So this is pretty much your half double crochets right there. Okay, and you will pretty much continue to do this all throughout. As you can see here, there's nothing else different except for to repeat this exact same thing over and over. Okay, so you continue to do your half double crochets. Okay, so look at how it looks so far. This is how it looks. Go ahead and continue to do this all the way to the end of this chain here, and when you get to here, you go ahead and come back to the video, and I'll show you guys how to turn your work around. See you in a bit. Okay, my friends, so this is the end of the first row for the half double crochet. So as you can see here, I did not go into the very last chain here because I wanted to do it together with you, and it also has a lot of importance to make sure you go into that last chain space as well. Okay, so it should look just like that, and when you have that completed, you're going to chain one, you're going to turn your work around, and you're going to continue to do the half double crochet, but you're going to go into the very first space here. So as you can see, right after the chain one, there's this hole right here, and that's where you go, and then you're going to continue to go on into each of these holes going forward. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, yarn over, and you're making sure you're going through both spaces here. So as you can see, there's these V shapes back and on top of the first row here, and you're going to make sure you're going through both of them. So as you can see, we're going through both like this. Okay, I will be showing you how to go through the back loop only, but for now this is how we do it, is we just go through both spaces like that. Okay, so this is how your second row of half double crochet should look like. Okay, this is the back part of it, and you're just going to continue ahead and continue to build your work. Okay, I would like you guys to go ahead and continue to do this however long your chain is. Go ahead and go all the way to the end, and before you get to this very last space here, stop, and then I'll show you guys how to go ahead and finish that up and chain to turn your work around and go into the row 3. So this is a very simple stitch, and it looks very nice as well. As you can see here, if you're doing anything that you're using this chain, if you're using this stitch, you're going to have a very nice and even work. And the trick too as well is to make sure you're holding your yarn in a way that it's not getting loose or tight in some spots of your work. So make sure you're coming up with a nice technique on how to hold your yarn. In this case here for me, this was the best technique, was to loop the yarn around my finger like this, because I can literally control how much I'm letting go from here. And to be honest with you, because of that, most of my crochet work is actually really tight and it's very even, and I get a lot of compliments from people saying that my work is super even, and I think it has a lot to do with how I hold my yarn here. At least that's what I think it is, but I don't know. So anyways, go ahead and complete it all the way to the very second last space, and then I will show you guys how to work your turning, your final stitch, and then turning. See you in a bit. Okay guys, so this is where you should be. So this is the end of row 2 of the half double crochet. So this is what I was talking about. I did not go into the very last one here, and often people miss it because it doesn't look like there's another one, but there's actually one last one here. It's kind of a little bit lower in the work, so you just have to make sure you go into that as well, because if you don't, this is how your ending is going to look, and it's going to look like you're reducing your work. Okay, so I wanted you guys to stop here so I can actually give you that information there. Okay, now you see it looks nice and flat here, and it's even. And then when you're here, you do your chain 1, you turn your work around. And by the way, I'm chaining 1. There's also people who will chain 2. So if you chain 2, it doesn't make that big of a difference, and you can also chain 1. So don't be, don't think you can only chain 1 and that's it. I just do 1 because I prefer to do chain 1 for this particular stitch. Okay, so and then you turn your work around, and then you continue to do your half double crochets just like you did in the previous row. So as you can see here, okay, so there's really nothing more complicated with this stitch except for just making sure you're building your work. So as you can see, this is the third row, This is the first one, second and third, and that's how it looks like. It's usually very even on both sides. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and do a few more rows of this stitch, and then come back and we will see how our work looks like, and we can conclude the video there. But yeah, this is pretty much a half double crochet. We will see it in a little bit more of a larger size so that we can see how it looks in much details. So go ahead and build up your work as big as you want it, and then come back to the video and we'll see how our work looks like and compare. Okay, so see you guys in a minute. Hi guys, welcome back. So this is pretty much where I'm going to stop with this tutorial here. I'm going to do another video to do the same thing, which is a half double crochet, but you've went through the back loop only. But this is pretty much how you do a regular half double crochet. As you can see here, this is about 1 2 3 4 5 6 rows, and that's how it looks. So if you're doing a scarf, whatever it is, whatever project that you're doing, you're going to be expecting your work to look like that in terms of consistency. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Go ahead and practice this. You may want to just watch the video over and over to make sure you're getting this right. The main thing usually is to make sure the edges here are straight. They're not, you know, like kind of bending inwards or outwards, because that means you reduced or you added stitches somehow. But just make sure you have something that looks that straight. And that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed doing this video with me. And if you're new, like I said, subscribe so you don't miss any new videos, especially if you're learning how to crochet. You don't want to miss me showing you how to do these basic stitches. So I will see you guys in the next video, where I will show you guys how to do the same stitch but when you go through the back loop. Okay, see you guys in a bit.